Hey guys, I know I disappeared for a couple of months, but we're back. Life has this way of like taking you away and like doing whatever the fuck it wants, but we're back, you see? Let's then dive into this deck profile because it's a Darklord deck. Um, Full disclosure, this is something that I've currently played with. It's something I took to locals. I went undefeated, which is bloody amazing for a first time trying this. Um, my matchups were Synchrons, Enneacraft, Exosister, and the third one, I forgot what it was. Radiant Typhoon, yes. Um, so the first game was against Synchros. I went 2-0. Second game was Enneacraft. I went 2-0 as well. And then it was Radiant Typhoon, 2-1. And then with the Exo Sisters, it kind of went into we kind of went into time. However, the guy couldn't out my towers, which is, the evening star, untargetable 4K attack. So we just rolled for it. He won the die roll. Um, because sometimes you just want to be like, oh my god, no, I can win, I'm not going to take the loss, but whatever the fuck, man. If that keeps you happy, good for you. So yeah, I would say it's still undefeated. He just didn't want to admit I lost the die roll in the like who gets the win at the end. But never again, man. I should have won. I made a couple of mistakes because then again, first time playing. But forget all of that. Let's get into the deck list. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going to show you the Darklord portion of the deck first, and then I'm going to show you the supporting cards and the side deck. So we have Darklord Morningstar. Morningstar, you don't normally summon him unless you use Condemn to banish your monsters from the grave, but normally you don't want to tribute 2 monsters. On summon, he can bring out Darklord monsters equal to the effect monsters your opponent controls. And then also, if you use him for a fusion summon, specifically for the first Dark Lord gets an effect to nuke your opponent's field. Next, we play double Ixchel. Ixchel, discard herself and another Dark Lord card, from your hand, draw 2. Pot of Greed. Who doesn't love that, right? Plus, she looks nice. So, a Pot of Greed that is nice. Another effect, pay 1,000 life points, and you get to copy a Dark Lord card from your grave. Next, Tezcatlipoca. He is a one-of. I'm hearing a lot of people saying they want to put him in the side deck. I want to keep him in the deck, mainly because outside of just protecting your monsters, he also has the effect to copy an effect in grave. Pay 1,000, copy an effect in grave, shuffle it back, and then do whatever the hell you need to do with that. Darklord Nastin. Discard 2 Darklord cards from your hand, special summon him. It's a good extender if your hand is a little bricky, and if you play Darklords, you know what I'm talking about. He also has the added effect of pay 1,000 life points, copy your spell trap from grave, shuffle it back, and apply its effects. Next, we play 3 of the new cards. Jehudi, on normal summon or special summon. Special summon a Darklord card from your deck, monster from your deck, and get locked into fairies. Additional effect in grave is banish its if you control a Darklord fusion monster, Dark Fairy fusion monster. Banish it from the grave, target another Darklord card or forbidden quick play spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Which is great if you want to recycle the next card, which is Darklord Gulgulet. His effect on special summon, you get 2 lovely tokens, which are fairy monsters, and they also get locked into fairies as well. When sent to the grave, you can search for any quick Darklord card or any forbidden quick play spell. Next, we play triple banishment of the Darklords. Search any Darklord card from your deck. Love it. And then 1 contact. It's a monster reborn for any Darklord monster in your grave. Then we play 1 dance, which is great. Fusion by banishing from hand, field, and or graveyard. Gain 1,000 attack if it's a Darklord monster. Alongside that, you can fuse against, you can fuse using monsters your opponent controls. If Darklord becomes meta at some point, this card is going to be busted. Then next we play 1 Rebellion, discard a Darklord monster from your hand, non-targeting pop. We play 1 Enchantment, discard a Darklord monster from your hand, non-targeted steal. And then we play 1 Sanctified, discard a Darklord monster from your hand, non-targeted negate, and gain life points as well, which is important in this deck. So yeah, that's it for the Darklord portion of the main deck. I'm going to just quickly hop into the Darklord portion of the extra deck, which is 2 first Darklord. On summon, if you use Morningstar, you get to nuke the field. Or during your main phase, or during the main phase, pay 1,000, revive a Darklord monster from your grave. You can only use 1 effect per turn. And he's untargetable. He makes all your other fairies untargetable as well. Next, we play 2 Evening Stars. On summon, on fusion summon, place a Darklord spell and trap. You need to have both to resolve this effect on the field. So you place this Darklord spell and trap to the field from your deck. And also pay 1,000, copy its effect, plus he makes himself untargetable. Something I forgot to mention about Morningstar is that if you have other Darklord monsters on the field, which is important once the new trap card comes out, he becomes untargetable. Plus he has an effect to mill your deck, but you don't use it that often. And then for the last portion of the deck that is related to Darklords, 2 Condemned Darklord. Very good if you just need to get a specific Darklord monster, or if you need to send a specific Darklord monster to the grave. Normally you would send Golgot to the grave if you want to play around Droll a bit. But yeah, I can show you guys that later. Alright, and then next we're going to go into the supporting cards for the deck itself. There you go. You're playing a fairy deck, so obviously you play free Herald of Orange Lights. Monster negate, discard itself and another fairy card, negate and destroy that monster. Next we play 3 Dawn Angel Cambies. At first I didn't want to play it because I was somewhat of a purist. I was thinking maybe I don't need it, but once I started playing it and I realized how much it extends, yeah, I kind of made it mandatory. So if you have no monsters on field, or all the monsters you control are fairies, basically special summon it. Then tribute itself, plus any other fairies, and then special summon a fairy monster from your deck who has the same level as the tributed monsters. Normally, you tribute herself, and then you go into Trickster and Nightshade. Nightshade is only here for, what's her name? Trickster Colchica. I know other people play other Trickstars, but this is one of the Trickstars that I got from someone at local, so I just went with Colchica. There's no need. It just needs to be a level 1 Trickstar monster. Next, we play 3 Fuelos. Self-explanatory. You want to draw, obviously. And 3 Ash. Somewhat self-explanatory. You don't want your opponent to draw, search, or special from deck. Next are 2 cards that I believe everyone should be playing if you're playing Darklords. If you're aware of your own personal weaknesses, that is. Crossout Designator and Called by the Grave. Crossout is more game 1 if you don't know what your opponent has. Called by the Grave, I would keep that in my deck game 2 as well. Obviously, because you don't want them to do anything. Next, I'm playing 3 Dvalin and the Virtuous. I believe it's a little much to play 3, but I prefer to play this mainly because if I normal summon Jehudi and someone tries to Imperm or Veiler it, I can Fallen and the Virtuous, destroy my own Jehudi, and then with Albion Engrave, I can search basically for another Fallen and the Virtuous and go from there. But yeah, don't worry about it. I'm actually planning on cutting it down to 2 for some other cards that I might get at some point. I played 2 Forbidden Droplets. You can search it. Why wouldn't you play it? Obviously. And Droplet, everyone knows what Droplet does, I hope. Send cards to the grave from hand or field. and equal to, and negate monsters on the field, non-targeting, equal to the amount of monsters or cards sent to the grave. Next, we play 1-for-1. This would be a Forbidden Crown, if I had one. But this is my extender for, not extender, but it's like my starter if I don't have Cambi in hand. So I'll just activate this, send the monster to the grave, probably Fuelos if I had it, and then special out anything. Ideally, you could also send Googlet, send that to the grave, get your Dawn Angel, do those combos, and also like Googlet gets you a search as well. Next, I'm going to show you the extra deck of the supporting cast, which is 1 Kolchika. You just need her for Nightshade. That's it. Almirage. If your Jehudi gets stopped, you can tribute him off. And ideally, if you have, what's his name, Contact in hand as well. So tribute him off, bring back Golgot, and then you can take these two and go into SP. I used the Almirage once and I went into SP and it actually helped. So that was great. Next, Protector of the Agents, Moon. Very nice card. I used her like a couple of times, but I would keep her. I would keep her even with like the new support coming out at some point. Play IP Masquerena. Never made her, so I am debating on cutting her out. Trust me, there are other cards that I'll show you later on that are probably better than IP. Next, we play SP Little Knight. Used it, loved it, great. SP is SP, we all know what she does. Typhon. I didn't make Typhon, surprisingly. So he's also on the list of cards that I want to cut out. Funny note is that you can make, what's his face? You can make Zeus naturally in this deck if you overlay your first Darklord and the Morning Star, Evening Star, yeah, together, because they're both level 12, so you can make them naturally. You can make Typhon naturally, and you can also make Zeus naturally, but Zeus is a little overkill. Then next we play Albion. Albion, I think everyone knows it because we've seen him too much with all the Fallen and the Virtuous going around. And then, of course, Ecclesia. Ecclesia's graveyard effect is basically why we play this. So we can shuffle back cards from our grave in your opponent's field as well. Great, so that's it for the main deck and extra deck. I know that format is a little bit weird, but ideally what would happen is you get to see what the core is around the Darklords, and then you can mix and match what you want to play around it to support the deck itself. Okay, side deck. Perulia. Kind of need it. Because you're playing Darklords, and thematically it has to do with God, quote unquote. I play Strike, Judgment, and Warning, because hey, if you're gonna rebel against Darklord Rebellion, if you're gonna Darklord Rebellion against God, you might as well have your ops in your deck, right? So there you go. This is something that I've sided in because I didn't know what to side, especially going locals with a new deck. So Shared Right. I kind of use this offensively when I go first, mainly because most of the time I see my opponents like drawing, like searching, adding from grave, doing whatever the fuck. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, you know what? I want some of that. Give me some of that as well. So normally you can draw into your hand traps with Shared Right, or you can stop them from comboing because they don't want to give you too many draws. Next, we play Lightning Storm. Fuck your back row and your front row. Harpies. Fuck your back row. And triple Dominus Impulse. The reason I would play Dominus Impulse is because going second, your, what's her name? Your Golchikas, your Tricks, Dawn Angel, Cambi, whatever the hell, it doesn't do much going second. So I would rather replace those light monsters with Impulse so I can actually, you know, put up a fight. Plus Impulse is just crazy. And then we also play Rivalry of the Warlords. You're playing a fairy deck, right? You're playing a pure fairy deck, so you might as well play Warlords so that you can stop your opponents. Alright, And then other things that I want to bring up are cards that I'm considering putting into the deck. And this is something that you could play around with. I am somewhat of a lazy deck builder from time to time. So I was like, hey, what the fuck do I side, right? Like, what do I play against? If you're learning the deck, it becomes hard to sometimes pick the right cards to choose. So cards that I was considering are like Herald of Purple Light and Herald of Green Light. Why these? So you can be a little bit ignorant. Like, I don't know what to side or how to counter this trap, but I do know it's a trap, so there goes in Purple Light. Or I don't know what to do with the spell. Here goes in Green Light. Plus you also have the Herald of Mirage Light to like play off. So before you get the Herald of Mirage Light, these can be like cards that you can play as ignorant options against whatever you're playing against. If you don't know what you're playing against, these are like your good coverage cards. Another card I was considering is Despia Theodo the Branded, mainly because it allows me to fuse, and it has the other added benefit of like if a non-fusion fairy monster goes to grave. We have fusion link monsters. Sorry, not fusion link monsters. We have fairy link monsters, and I believe we have majority of like fairy main deck monsters as well. So any of those monsters, as long as they're not fusion, but they're fairies, if they go to the grave, you get to revive either the first Darklord or Morningstar, which in and of itself is great recursion. Another card that I'm considering is Mutiny in the Sky. Because you're already using fairy hand traps, you could go into Lose the Dust Dark, which has 2 pops. One is if they destroy something, and another is if you send a fairy monster, light or dark, from deck to grave. In the near future, you could play this and send Christia. I don't know, it's up to you, right? But yeah, 2 pops plus destruction protection for monsters on zones 1 and 5. So yeah, those are cards that I would consider playing, and ideally I would also add a crown if I had one.